Everything's like that for me. They're like, are you straight or are you this? I'm everything.
Peg Watson, he's all about inclusivity.
Dink, 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 dink.
Coach Greg, in today's video, it keeps getting worse for Wes Watson, and this time, he did it to himself. I mean, honestly, it's always Wes Watson doing it to himself, and this time he outs himself as being a pansexual. I'm not making this shit up. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. Wes Watson enjoys anything. He isn't one way or the other. Why would he admit this? If you've been seeing Wes Watson or keeping up with him, you'll notice that he enjoys his creatine. He enjoys it a lot. He also enjoys his sharmutas. Now, I'm not here to say what a man or a woman cannot do or what they can enjoy or not. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being bisexual, pansexual, whatever. And if a man wants to get pegged after perhaps enjoying it too much in jail in his previous life, well, that's up to him.
Dink, 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 dink. Skinny or thick chicks? I'm like, I like them skinny thick. You know what I mean? Like, everything's like that for me. They're like, are you straight or are you this? I'm everything. I'm not just one or the other.
Some of you haven't perhaps heard of pansexual. Let me read you the definition. Pansexual means being attracted to people regardless of their gender or sex. Peg Watson, he's all about inclusivity. He doesn't judge you on if you're a man or a woman or what gender you want to be. And so he's very 2025. He's open to everything. He opens his derriere to anything. And, well, we already expected this to potentially be true, but we didn't know that we'd hear it straight from his mouth. When you've been sniffing a little bit too much creatine, perhaps days on end, your mind, it starts to play tricks on you. We've seen it with Togi. Drugs, alcohol, it's addictive, and they can be bad. And so you need to be careful. And so when Peg Watson continues to sniff creatine every single day with the sharmutas, you've seen it in the Bugatti in the car, you've seen the evidence, you've seen it, you see it on his nose, you literally see it. I mean, what do you expect? And so when he's in an interview, he isn't thinking clearly and he isn't able to cover it up. Someone who is pansexual might be drawn to men, women, non-binary people, transgender people, or anyone else. Attraction is based on the person, not their gender identity. He isn't very fussy. Oddly enough, when they say, are you attracted to thin women or overweight women? He says, well, obviously thin. I don't understand why anyone would like somebody who's overweight. And so apparently he's pansexual so long as that person is in shape. No thick pansexual interest whatsoever.
The only thing that you like straight is taking it straight up the by Big Boy and Colleen Muscle.
And so when John Bravo coined the term Peg Watson, you thought perhaps he was making this up. That it wasn't actually true, that maybe they were making up a story just for laughs, for the views, that he enjoyed getting pegged. What do you think now?
Now look at this footage and look at his nose. What's that shit on it, you asshole?
And so listen, guys, just so that you know, creatine should be consumed orally. And I'm referring to actual creatine. When we're talking about Wes Watson, we're not actually talking about creatine. I had some DMs, people saying, I didn't know that you should be sniffing your creatine. And I'm thinking, do they really think that I'm referring to actual creatine? That it's not a metaphor, a simile, or symbolism for something else? It reminds me of the old days when I used to say how to make anabolic French toast, that you need to use regular ass bread. And by regular ass bread, I mean, just white bread, like whatever bread you can find. And literally, people are going to the grocery store and asking specifically for the brand regular ass bread. I shit you not. This happened multiple times. And by the way, creatine is in fact 15% off when you use code Greg. If you are in fact interested in impressing your girlfriends or perhaps your Sharmuta friend, whatever, harder than last time, also code Greg 15% off. And something you don't need to sniff, you can actually swallow. Turk Builder Max and Turk Platinum. And if you want to focus a little bit better, for example, in interviews and not rat yourself out as being a pansexual, G Focus Limitless. Code Greg, 15% off.
He even has some creatine left there on the table. Or is that pre-workout? I can't tell the difference.
Guys, this is important. When you have your sharmutas, please ask them to refrain from recording videos, especially when you have white creatine under your nose.
Every time I make a video or I put out something on Instagram, 15 minutes later, he's running on his Instagram stories and posting shit about me.
Wes Watson, who we know is going to be going to jail shortly, he's got perhaps a few more months of freedom before he goes to court for that trial where he attacked the 7-foot monster, if you will. Remember, he said he was 7 feet tall because in comparison, he's significantly shorter. Wes Watson, who brags about being 6 feet tall when everybody knows he's 5'9" or less, probably about 5'8". There's nothing wrong with being a manlet. After all, Coach Greg is 5'6". Have you not seen my latest album? Jeff Nippon, the science-based lifter, a dropout dentista. Solomon's former client is a 5'4" circle jerker. We've seen it, we've heard it, and so nobody cares. I mean, Wes, if you have enough money to afford a Bugatti, then you are in fact 6'5" when you're sitting on your wallet. Why does Wes Watson have a hard-on as he's thinking of John Bravo? Like, why does that make him hard? Is John Bravo the type of man that Wes Watson fantasizes that he dreams of? I mean, being a pansexual, he does in fact attract himself to practically anyone. John Bravo, I thought he would be a little bit too thick for Wes Watson. I thought he preferred them really thin.
And I still don't know who any of you guys are. Still would never say your names because you're irrelevant. Who know that I'm the most relevant.
If they are irrelevant, why are you speaking of them right now? You always say, Wes, you say, no one should speak about another man, but yet you're doing it right now. Like you're literally referring to John. You mention everything about him without saying his name. I mean, other guys like Jeff Nippon, they never mention us at all. They leave nasty comments whenever it sees fit, and then when they get caught making a mistake, they just delete and cover up the evidence. Wes Watson, on the other hand, well, he refers to people, he talks about them saying, you know, you're talking about me because I'm so famous, I'm so relevant, you're getting views because you're talking about me. Wes, there's a difference between being famous and being infamous. Famous is when you did some good shit. Maybe you're a famous sports star, rapper, musician, whatever. And infamous is when you're famous for doing something wrong. They're not quite the same. It's true that in both situations that many people know who you are, but one is for something you did wrong and the other for perhaps something you did right. And so, Wes, the reason we're talking about you is because you're infamous for being an idiot, moron, sharmuta, creatine sniffing reject.
Do you guys understand what you're saying? Like, don't show who you are so you can appear to be someone you're not. Okay? Everything I show is who I am. I'm not going to show anything that's incriminating. So there it is.
Well, have we not seen him literally attack a guy when he was down? Has he not been shown driving around in fancy, expensive vehicles with no registration? What's up with that? How can a man who has so much money and so many vehicles forget to register practically all of them?
You guys are rats who talk about shit that's incriminating, and you guys who tell people to show who they're not to appear better to the world are stupid as fuck.
And so, Wes, if you're not going to show any damning evidence, why do we see creatine all over the vehicle? With the sharmutas, why are we seeing that? When you brag about somebody that doesn't use recreational drugs, that you're a clean man, that you've changed, you've reformed, but when you show us doing the exact thing that you say that you're not, you're literally exposing yourself. Just like when you exposed your 3-inch member to the world with your sharmuta several months ago. Have we not forgotten about that? Wes Watson talking about the fact that he doesn't expose himself, that he won't expose himself to the world, when he's literally exposed Mr. Little.
Click the link in the pinned comment and use my code for up to 15% off.
If you want to support John Bravo, you can purchase Maximus Pump. You can use his link. It's John Bravo for up to 15% off. Sponsored by Enhanced.
Someone said, skinny or thick chicks? I'm like, I like them skinny thick.
And so we know that his mind is aware enough to know the difference between skinny and thick. Now, I do believe that it's equally as simple to know if you're gay or you're straight or if you like both. If you don't care if they're male or female, straight, the gender they identify in, trans or whatever, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Everything's like that for me. They're like, are you straight or are you this? I'm everything.
How is it possible that he just slipped up? Some people refer this as a Freudian slip. You're thinking about whatever and it comes out because you're thinking that thing and you're trying to cover it up, but your brain, it plays some tricks on you. Remember, the creatine that he sniffed, perhaps it was just enough to let his guard down enough to admit to the world that he's pansexual.
No, they said skinny or thick chicks. You
No,
know?
I get that part, but you said straight?
No, I didn't know what. I don't know what I
Okay.
didn't say that.
All right, just wanna make
I
sure
said
here.
I'm totally different than everybody.
And so he says he's different from everybody, but the statistics, as I'm reading it right here, says between 1 and 3% of adults identify as pansexual. U.S. and Canada, where he lives, 1 to 2%. And so it's not everybody. It's not as rare as you perhaps think.
I'm
Yeah.
as straight as it gets.
Okay,
dude.
thank you.
I don't even
Thank
know
you.
how that fat shit gets in people's brains.
No, he's definitely not as straight as it gets. I mean, just look at him right there. We've seen him walking around Miami with those freaking purses, the white purses and the outfit. Does that look like as straight as you can get? Like, even if he hadn't admitted to this, even if he hadn't been in prison, he's still not the straightest looking man that you've ever seen.
I think this is a man that realizes that his days of freedom are numbered. You know, he's going to trial soon.
I mean, when you think of it, why not be pansexual if you just want to get pegged? Why does it matter if it's from a man or a woman? It's the peg that's doing all the work. The person behind the peg, does that really matter?
So many of them have no other way of beating me. Like, the only way they could ever beat me is to be taller than me, okay? And I'm 6 foot.
No, somebody doesn't beat you by being taller than you. I mean, if you're playing basketball, it can help to give you an advantage, volleyball and so on. But just in life, being taller than someone doesn't mean that you win. Imagine if your height, being tall, is the only thing that you ever did successful in your life. I'm tall. Really, I mean, I'm not a moron. I understand that being tall gives you an advantage, but if you're 5'6", perhaps you're 5'7" like Spud Webb, and you literally made it to the NBA, and bro is out there 6'6" and can hardly dribble a ball, doesn't mean you've won.
That's what's crazy. So I'm not even short at all. I'm huge.
We saw it, and it wasn't huge. It was literally 3 inches.
Oh my God!
Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Of course, go and check out John Bravo's channel for all that is Wes Watson and other videos. Don't forget to watch those 2 bloops, all of the Harder Than Last Time supplements, as well if you're interested in getting your blood work done and getting enclomiphene, HRT, and so on. Head to AlgoRx, click the link in the description, and if you're interested in being a sponsored athlete or ambassador, also click the link for HLT supplements, of course. And if you want to carry our supplements in stores, gyms, and so on, another link. Just start clicking links all the time. And until next time, I am out.